Hey there, Brady here with your daily tennis lesson. So we're looking at the 4 positions in doubles this week, and today specifically, we're looking at the net player who is the server's partner. A couple points I want to mention that are really kind of the job, so to speak, of this player. The first one is absolutely trying to snag as many of the returns from this player out ahead of me as possible. If you think about it, we've got the server who's back, and if you've looked at any doubles match in the past 50 years, you would notice that it's extremely uncommon to see 2 players start back at the baseline. We almost always have a player serving, well, we do always have a player serving, and almost always their partner is this net player. And the reason for that is because we want the net player on the server's side to be the first attacker if possible. This player gives the opponents so much less reaction time, and that's ultimately, doubles nowadays is a fast game, and if we're constantly in this net position, avoiding the return of serve as it goes cross court and allowing our serving partner to hit the ball, these 2 players on the other side are gaining time, and it's going to settle them down. They're likely to play better doubles that way. So the first job I want you to do is to snag as many returns as possible. And I would venture out on a limb here and say that even if you just feel like you can barely touch the ball and not going to be able to put a great volley stroke on it, take it anyways. It's at least sending a message to the opposite team that they're going to be under pressure and that this player is always active. I think a lot of you out there have most likely played some doubles matches against a server's net partner who just seemed like they were all over the place, moving around, snagging volleys, and it was almost like they're unavoidable. And we want to be that player, all right? So very aggressive in terms of a nose for the ball, trying to get as many returns as possible. Now, point number 2, job for this player is that if the return is quality and just gave you no chance to put a racket on it, it got cross court, it's definitely back to your serving partner, job number 2 is keeping the center of the court covered. This is the biggest area of court for the opponents to hit into from every position out there, and it's also probably the easiest section of court for your opponents to hit to. So at all costs, as a doubles team and as the net player of the server's partner, if this return goes cross court and I can't get a racket on it, if I were to stay here, even if I backed up a little bit and my partner hits back to the other side, both players have this huge gaping window through the center of the court. So my job instantly, as that return gets away from me, is to come back and sit on the middle of the court here. Okay, now if my partner happens to hit to the net player and they've got a volley on their racket, I'm forcing them to hit to the outside over here. That's a much more difficult volley for this player than coming right up the center where I've got a good chance to play it. Okay, and if it goes back to the baseliner, you know, once again, I'm not only trying to get my racket on as many returns of serve as possible, I'm trying to get my racket on as many balls as possible. So once I've covered the center, my third job is to always follow the ball, all right? So if you'll notice, my partner returns back to Mark and there's this cross-court rally going. I need to follow the ball, which means it's out there. Mark, set up your forehand. I want to go get in front of the hitter. Let's say this pattern happened one more time. He goes cross court again. I've got to get back into this covering the middle idea. I've also got to just think about having a nose for the ball, following it, and I'm going to recover back again. So the activity up here as the net player is a combination in a defensive scheme, if we couldn't get a racket on the ball, of covering center and then immediately engaging back into following the ball so that we have as many opportunities as possible to get a volley on our racket. And if you'll notice, this pattern as I follow the ball, folks, is always in a diagonal position, okay? Because as I cover center, I don't want to get myself killed, okay? So I'm never gonna, see the return go to my partner and just go say, hey, I got to cover center. Because now if it does go to the net player, I'm so close to the net, I'm going to get myself killed. So we want to be able to say, okay, I'll cover the center, also protect myself, come back on a diagonal. Okay, we got it back over closer to the nets, obviously a more offensive position. So it's these ebbs and flows, moving with the ball, not ever just staying at net super close, not ever just staying farther back to protect yourself. Work up and back in these diagonal patterns to be that active net player that causes so many of us problems because they find those volleys on their racket over and over and over, okay? And that's all I got for you today. Please click like below this video, and if you have not subscribed to our channel yet, please do so, as well as check down below me in the description of this video. You'll find the link to 3 free courses that Mark and I have put together. I think you'll find those really helpful as well. All right, so until next time, be well, and we'll see you soon at Daily Tennis Lesson.